Setting up and using the Alcon Legacy 20000 Wet Lab Phaco Machine Part 2. In Part 1 we went over the brief setup of the Alcon Legacy 20000 machine, showing how to connect all the tubing. Now I'd like to go over some basic steps and procedures on how to actually run the machine, change between modes, while at the same time reviewing some brief principles of phaco-dynamics or fluidics that you can kind of visualize or experience when setting up the wet lab. Hopefully these uh, uh, things will make the fluidics more real to you or more intuitive and allow you to transition in surgery more easily. Running the Alcon Legacy 20000 is somewhat intuitive. Most of the controls can be managed from the computer panel. Bottle height is continuously variable or always available by adjusting the buttons on the left side of the screen as shown here. The digital display shows the height of the bottle. The buttons on the other portions of the screen, such as ultrasound power, vacuum level, aspiration rate, can also be adjusted by the buttons just adjacent to the indicated label on the screen. Uh, Again, those labels and positions may change depending on the mode that you're in, so you need to watch them during surgery and make sure you're always in the correct mode. Because this video is running somewhat slowly, we'll move along using a mouse. To switch between the different modes such as vitrectomy, ultrasound, IA, linear coagulation, you press the buttons along the bottom of the screen or the icons on the screen directly. One of the variables during phacoemulsification that you need to become familiar with is the phaco or ultrasound power. That's shown here on the screen. As you can see here, the ultrasound power actual is listed there in the blue box. The maximum limit is shown in the small black box. The max ultrasound level is set on the panel by adjusting the buttons, or comes preset in various phaco modes that could be set, custom modes that you could program later. I'll show you how. In any case, your phaco energy delivered will never go beyond the maximum ultrasound energy set on the panel when you're in foot position 3. So if the peak value is set at 35, when you depress the pedal all the way in foot position 3, you'll get a max ultrasound of 35. Generally, your maximum phaco power is going to be determined by your technique. For example, in sculpting during a divide and conquer technique, you will actually use a slightly higher energy than you would normally, for example, with burst when you're doing chop techniques. There are different phaco modes that have been designed to optimize the delivery of the phaco energy, making it more efficient. These different modes on the legacy machine can be seen above the ultrasound icon by the cursor here. The different modes are phaco, pulse, bimodal, and burst. These energy modes deliver the energy differently. However, they all provide you with phaco energy when you enter foot position 3. In phaco mode, there will be a constant delivery of phaco energy with the peak power determined by the foot position on the pedal, or with the power delivery determined by the foot position on the pedal and the peak power determined by the panel preset. Your constant or your phaco energy is constantly on 100% of the time in this mode, so there'll be a continuous hum from the phaco handpiece. One of the downsides of this is that the phaco handpiece can sometimes become hot and result in corneal burns if you're not careful. This has prompted the development of some other modes of delivering phaco energy. One of these is pulse mode. In pulse mode, there is an intermittent delivery of energy with the phaco. The machine will automatically cycle on and off with the phaco energy a set number of times per second. The number of pulses is determined by another window on the screen just to the right of what's shown here. By doing this, you can cycle the power, reduce your overall energy in many cases, and also keep the tip cooler. Pulse mode is frequently used during quadrant removal or chopping techniques. Burst mode is another, but in pulse mode, it's important to note that your pulses are continuous. They are set by the panel, and whenever you enter foot position 3, there'll be a given number of pulses per second, 2, 4, 6, 8, or whatever you set on the panel. As you depress further in foot position 3, the phaco energy will linearly increase until you hit the maximum preset level on the panel. In burst mode, we have another way of giving phaco energy uh, by cycling the phaco energy essentially. However, instead of having linear control of the phaco energy in foot position 3, you have linear control essentially of the time between the phaco pulses. The phaco energy will always be delivered at the maximum preset level on the ultrasound panel. However, as you depress through foot position 3, the bursts of phaco energy occur closer together, such that when you get to 100% foot position, or pedal to the metal position, you will have essentially continuous phaco energy. Burst mode is also commonly used in chopping techniques or quadrant removal, and these modes are a way that the machine will automatically turn the phaco on and off, so that you don't have to continuously go up and down on the pedal in an effort to keep phaco energy or time in the eye low. The ultrasound time or phaco time on the legacy is this variable shown here. You can reset the time by pressing the button below that index on the screen. This variable indicates the total amount of energy delivered into an eye during surgery. Each case should be zeroed at the beginning so that you have an accurate measure of the phaco energy put in the eye. As your surgical experience increases, typically your phaco times will decrease. However, it's also important to note that phaco times will generally also depend on the techniques that are used. Typically in divide and conquer techniques, there'll be somewhat longer phaco times than you will have with chopping techniques, where there's more manual disruption of the lens or breakup of the lens. Also on different phaco platforms, phaco time is labeled differently. On the Millennium, there are 3 numbers for phaco time, and those would be phaco effective phaco time, absolute phaco time, and